Reading workshop. Reading helps enhance our thinking skills, build our language, and expand our understanding. Reading improves fluency, comprehension, and decoding skills. Strategies for guided reading, small group instruction, organize students based on their reading level in groups so you can provide focused attention. Text preview, activate prior knowledge, and you can have a discussion on the title, pictures, and key vocabulary of the story. Scaffolded reading, prompt and support learners to tackle difficult words and phrases. Comprehension, predicting after reading and asking questions to point out the main idea of the story. This would enhance critical thinking. Activities for guided reading, sentence scrabble, take sentence from the story and have learners arrange them in the correct order. Graphic organizers use story maps, Venn diagrams to help organize the information they read. You can also have think aloud. Shared reading, reading text aloud with the class or with a partner. Strategies for shared reading, modeling fluency. Teacher reads aloud at first, modeling fluency, expression, and phrasing. Shared pacing. Students read text together aloud. Discussion and interaction can happen also after reading stories and asking of questions to discuss the key main idea. Repetition for fluency. Activities for shared reading, gallery walk. Before reading, do a picture walk to introduce key visual details and encourage predictions about the text. Role play, ask students to play roles of characters from the story. Sentence stretching, gathering and having students add details or questions about what they read. Partner reading, reading aloud in pairs. Reading independently at one own level and pace. This helps to build confidence and fluency. Strategies for independent reading, book selection, selecting of a text that is appropriate for each student's reading level. And you allow students to choose their book. Time for reading, set aside a regular time for reading every day. Silent reading has students read silently and focus on understanding of the text, and you can track the progress by having students set goals. Example, number of books or pages for the day, and provide reflection after reading. Ask the students to reflect on the book they have read. Activities for independent reading. Reading logs, keeping track of the books students read, noting the titles and even the date. Most book talks have students share about the book they have read. They can probably share their opinions and make recommendations. And reading journals where readers read aloud. Model fluent reading and comprehension strategies while exposing students to more complex texts and to be able to read fluently independently. Strategies for read aloud. Model reading. Read text aloud with proper expression, pacing, and fluency. Think aloud. As you read, you share your thinking process. Active listening. Encourage students to listen carefully and ask questions. You can also ask open-end questions, and this would encourage thinking and discussion. Activities for read aloud, interactive discussion, where you pause, periodically for students to comment and ask questions or make predictions. Story mapping. After reading, create a story map to discuss the key plot elements. And character analysis, discuss the motivations and feelings of the character after reading the passage. And you can also have post-reading responses, where you have students respond to the text in various ways, by drawing a scene or writing a letter of a character, or even making connection to their own life.
Writing workshop. Writing is a way of communication, self-expression, and documentation. Guided writing. Guided writing is used to provide direct instruction and support while helping writers learn new writing skills or techniques. An example that we have here is modeled writing. As an instructor, you model writing a short piece while talking through your thinking process. For example, you could write a paragraph and explain the decisions you're making about word choices, sentence structures, or organization. This could be done on a whiteboard or a digital document so your students can see your thought process. And the strategy there is that when they see your thought process, they are going to go back to their own writing and apply it to their writing. So you would have helped them there to actually activate or actually enhance their thinking skills that they have. Another example that we have here is group writing tasks. In small groups, your writers can collab and write paragraphs or short scenes together, of course, with your guidance. This helps them to practice key concepts in a supportive, low stakes environment. For example, your group or the group could collaboratively write an opening paragraph for a mystery story, with each member adding one sentence at a time. Shared writing. Shared writing helps your class to engage in collaborative work writing activities where everyone contributes ideas and they give feedback. This would promote a sense of community and shared learning, and it allows other writers to observe how writing develops through collaboration. Now, we have here some activities and strategies, and one is interactive writing. Now, for interactive writing, you have the whole class contribute to writing a piece together. For example, write a story as a group on the board or in a shared document. Start with an idea or a prompt and then go around the room asking for suggestions for the next sentence or the next paragraph. Discuss each choice with your class before moving forward. This helps your students to understand the process of creating a cohesive piece while allowing them to see how each writer contributes to the overall structure. Another example that we have here, or a strategy for the same interactive writing we have, is popcorn writing. Popcorn writing now, it's the same as it is. It's like stringing popcorns on, where a sentence or paragraph is written and then passed around, with each student adding one line at a time. Now, this writing is going to evolve as each students add their own ideas, creating a community written piece, which was the main objective of the activity and the strategy. Another example we have here is shared sentence construction. Build a sentence together where they will build sentences together as a group, focusing on expanding it, making it more complex. For instance, they start with a basic sentence like the dog ran. And then as a group, they ask the questions now about the dog. What breed is the dog? Where is the dog running? Why is it running? And in turn, they'll add more detail to that sentence, turn it into a richer and a more complex sentence. Independent writing allows your learners to do their own work, express themselves by utilizing the skills that they learn from guided and shared writing. Some activities that we have here for independent writing is let your learners set a time limit. Let them set a time limit. You provide them with uninterrupted writing time, like example 20, 30 minutes, even 40 minutes, where they can focus solely on their own writing. Encourage them. to draft, revise, or reflect during this time. This would help them to develop a writing routine and focus on their own individual projects. Now, a strategy to go along with that activity is set clear goals for independent writing time. Example, today, try to finish your first draft or focus on revising the dialogue in your story. Offer suggestions for what to do on if students get stuck or if they ask for your help. Another strategy here we can use is called goal setting. Now, this simply means at the beginning of independent writing time, have your writers set a specific goal for what they want to achieve. This might be as simple as writing a certain number of words, or going over a specific section of their piece, or experimenting with a new writing technique. It's going to be their goal that they set. In conferences, writing conferences offers individualized feedback and support, allowing your learners to focus on specific aspects of their writing that needs attention. Now we have here some activities and strategies. An example is one-on-one conference. Schedule short individual conferences with each student to discuss their current writing. Focus on specific areas for improvement. For example, their structure of their writing, the pacing, and their character development. Or celebrate that they are doing well. A strategy that can go along with that activity is using the three-step conference model. Compliment them. Start by highlighting something positive about their writing. Clarify. Identify specific areas that you know that they need revision or clarification. And thirdly, collaborate. Work together to set a concrete goal or a next step for revision. Example, let's work on strengthening your conclusion or focus on creating more sensory details in your descriptions. Next example is peer writing conferences. Now, this one is quite simple. You just pair up, it's like peer teaching. You pair up your students to hold peer writing conferences. Each pair reads each other's work and provides feedback based on a rubric or a set of questions provided by you, the instructor. Example, does the story have a clear beginning, middle, and end? Or what emotion does the scene evoke? A strategy that can go along with that activity is use a feedback framework, such as 2 stars and a wish, where each student gives 2 positive pieces of feedback and 1 area for improvement.
Word study. What is word study? Word study provides students with opportunities to investigate and understand the patterns in words. That is, breaking down the words and making connections to learn it without having to memorize the words. Strategies and activities. Here is a strategy. Now, these strategies are here to help a child with the word study understanding the words. Introduce the spelling pattern by choosing words for students to learn. So here we have a list of words: clip, dash, big, wig, fish, club, pig, rush, and clap. Now these words here is for students to observe the list, check to see if there are any patterns, and they can talk about what they notice about the words, what they notice about the patterns in each word, or grouping them according to the patterns. Here's our next strategy. Encourage students to discover the pattern in their reading and writing. So remember, they had a list of words to find the pattern. So these are the patterns that they may discover. So they can group them according to the letters, according to the songs. So whatever way they find that these words have a pattern or look similar, they group them. Here are some examples. We have dash, rush, fish, big, wig, pig, clip, clap, club. Now, if you look carefully, you will see these words are grouped according to sounds or the letters they have in common. So we have the words, the first row having these words with sh or sh, the next row having words with ig or ig, and the other row with cl words. Now, these words, when they put them together, you're not going to tell them right away that, okay, they have put them under these headings. You're going to let them find the patterns, put it together, then we're going to talk about the headings. So the first row, these are consonant digraph. All the SH words, they're consonant digraph. Then we have the IG words, they are word family. Then we have the CL words, these are consonant blend. So here now you're going to let them know that these are not just any kinds of words, but we can tell them also that these words fall under a concept in literacy studies. Final strategy. Now, use reinforcement activities to help students relate this pattern to previously acquired word knowledge. Now, these are the knowledge they learned previously in the other strategies. Now we can interchange the letter or letters to check to see how they will use their previous knowledge to make new words. So let's make some new words. First, we have here is egg, egg. When we add f, we get fig. We have egg again. When we add r, we get rig. Next, we have w, a. When we add sh, we get wish. Next, we have r, a. When you add sh, you get rash. Next you have a. Ooh, we have o. Now when you add k, we get claw. Lastly, we have og. When you add k, we get clog. So here now you get to see how are they applying what they learned previously to any adding new words or taking away a part from the word and adding ones to make new words to see if these words, these skills they have, if they're using it effectively to form new words or new word patterns.
Reading and writing assessment tools. Assessment tools are methods used to evaluate and measure a person's knowledge, skills, or performance. Examples of some assessment tools. Tests, written or verbal questions that assess a person's knowledge. Observation, a way to gather information by watching someone. For example, shared reading assessments. Below average, they're going to use observation checklists to observe pupils' engagement during reading. Average pupils are going to complete sequence charts based on a given story. Above average, they're going to use words learned in stories to construct sentences. Self-assessment, a way for students to evaluate their own work. For example, independent reading assessments. Below average, they're going to create a list with made up words and pupils will recite them using their phonics skills. Average pupils are going to identify characters, settings, and plots in the story. And above average, they're going to create a scrapbook of summaries, of stories. Peer assessment, a way for students to evaluate each other's work, whereas pupils are going to work together on a project. Read aloud assessments. Below average, they're going to draw and color a scene from the story. Average, they're going to video themselves retelling the story in their own words. And above average, they're going to construct sentences with difficult words from the story. We have surveys, a way to gather information from a group of people, interviews, a way to gather information from an individual, grading rubrics, a way to evaluate a student's work, self-assessment, a way for students to evaluate their own work.
We'll now be giving you a brief insight in what our written report would entail for our balanced literacy program. This literacy program would provide knowledge in the characteristics and components that we can use to help our learners become proficient readers. This program was designed to help with reading workshop, writing workshop, word study and assessment, with various strategies that provides expected outcomes in learning. The reading workshop would involve read aloud, guided, and independent reading to students for them to become good readers. The teacher models reading verbally to make connections, fostering comprehension skills to develop background knowledge, and oral language skills. Writing workshop involves conferences, guided, shared, and independent writing to equip our students with the necessary skills to become better writers. This program is efficient in helping our diverse learners as it provides simple and differentiated ways for our learners to become better readers, better writers, and better thinkers.